Michael said he was going to join. Oh yeah, and we're live streaming. Here we go. So we're this is the AsyncVoter meeting. We've got Raphael and Myrnax and Sam at the moment. Oh yeah, and there's the chat is on there. I'll say, I don't know, hi, Myrnax. Can you hear us? That's the question. It doesn't look like Myrnax is actually muted. Like, I think if you mute somebody, there ends up being a little an additional mute symbol next to the thing. But oh, Matt's here as well. Hey, Matt.
Hi, guys.
Hey. All right. So, yeah. So, yeah, the AsyncVoter is still working. You know, Matt was using it today. We've got all of the different functionality that we had from before. Raphael and Matt, do you want to take us through what's been happening recently?
Matt, do you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
Well, I'll just let you go. I guess the only thing here is your refactoring, right? And
yeah. So do you want me to go over that, or what I've done?
Give an update, I guess, on that, and you know, what you think the schedule is going to be for.
Sure. No worries. So let me just share my screen. How do I do that? It's one of these buttons. Camera. There we go. Found it.
Yep.
Share and take you to my Sublime. So I've just been testing some stuff out.
Hi. Hello, Michael.
So I've done about 52 tests. It's not working again because I've done something else. Just try that again. Fingers crossed. Okay. So I've written about 52 new tests. A couple of those tests are old ones. What's happening though is, because I'm now kind of hitting some integration tests, and I'm going through the old ones and putting them into separate files. So checking that the app can be installed, it's fine. But this code actually calls the app to initialize itself, and it initializes itself in a test mode. As it does here, and now where I'm having problems is I'm doing that a third time, and I'm getting because I'm using asynchronous tests, it doesn't necessarily wait for one test to finish before it starts the next one. So it's still got one or two connections. It's still got at least one connection open to the database before, you know, or to the server. And then it tries to create a new instance, and obviously the address on the machine is in use already, so it doesn't do that. So I'm really not too sure how I should be handling this. Maybe it's showing me that I should be getting a reference to the server in a different way to what I am. I'm not sure. It would be good to pair up with somebody, because I'm just wanting to, once I can move all these tests in, so I've got like, basically these are the tests to kind of be remerged. Yeah, so these 2+ tests are still waiting. I need to do integration tests because I have changed a couple of the details, and I know that things have gone broken in the process, but I'm trying to just build those tests up. So I don't know if that's clear for everybody. I'm hoping it's clear for you, Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I understand that there. I guess just to go in overview, so we've got at the moment still in the master branch, and the master and the staging are both have both got the same code at the moment, or are they diverged?
I'm not touching the master and the staging at the moment. I've been doing a refactoring. The goal is to restructure the software, make sure that everything's tested properly, just so we move forward and add new features without a level of hassle, without asking ourselves the same fundamental questions about the software constantly.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Go on, Mike.
At some point, sorry, maybe we need to talk about like the test strategy at some point, because
that would be really helpful.
Well, I guess it seems to me that like independent before test strategy, the critical thing is like the direction for the project overall, right? In as much as what we've got is we've got the project that initially Aresh kind of made a proof of concept that this thing could work, and then we got it, set up so that we have, a production and a staging server on Azure that we can deploy to, and it's not costing us any money at the moment. And so it's also, like this is kind of a core project for Agile Ventures that potentially is of value to every project that's being used. It's sort of it's an infrastructure project. And hey, Paolo. It's we've got the question about the direction of the project. Like superficially on like using it at the moment, it seems like it's doing what we need. Longer term, there's a key thing moving forward for Agile Ventures and also for working with UC Berkeley that, we would like to be getting statistics and data on who's making votes and so on and so forth. So that's like an easy high level goal. I guess, are there other high level goals that we have for what the project delivers independently of how it's refactored or the testing structure or what have you? The key feature that I'm seeing as like on the table and like required by the users of it is implementing some sort of reporting framework.
I mean, for me, it's a JavaScript project using Node, and I value functional program, and and these are very personal things.
Yeah.
And I value using that in this project. So I've kind of used that as my base assumption. So if you're wanting to put other kind of goals, including that, as well as to have it flexible and agile, and what I think that we've had a bit of a trouble. There's the mythical man month that says do one and the way, and I think with the API version, I think we kind of did that and then we threw it away, and then we start with the base that Aresh has done, but it's not the tests. I would question the tests that have been left there, and
I'm not saying that there isn't a requirement for additional tests. Go on.
Yeah, I mean, as far as I can see, that it should be one of the goals that we're not fulfilling is that it's not recording any outcome of the voting. So votes are stopped, and then there's obviously an online discussion, and then the final step would be, finalize easy, finalize hard, and then that data gets sent to GitHub, and that data can also be data mined.
Oh yeah. No, I think that's part of what I was.
I'm not at the moment. I'm not storing date and timestamps. I'm using natural order in Mongo, but I'm not stating making any timestamps. So that probably needs to be added in. But none of these things, I think, these ancillary goals are at odds with the software as it stands.
Yeah, I think we agree with your high-level goals, Sam. The only other one I might add is just trying to make it a learning platform, to a platform where people can contribute. And
sure.
And I feel like this big refactoring is a little. Once we get over this hump, it'll be a nice platform, but it's a bit of a hump at the moment, and I don't know. Once we get beyond that, we can focus on some of the other goals.
It is a little bit of a hump at the moment, and I think because we've had so many different options in the past that there's been arguments about how we should go forward. I think most of those arguments should have been resolved by now, and the only problem with that hump at the moment, as the way I see it, is that there's just one person who's going through to do that refactoring, and that being me. And if anybody wants to join me, I'm more than happy to bring them up to speed on the software, explain how it works, and explain what and why I'm testing it, and to go through. And there's plenty of answers that I don't know. I'm still learning about TDD and how to do it and how to do it well.
Right.
And I think we've hit a few I think part of the reason why we're experiencing this hump now is that we had a whole lot of inexperienced people in Node or various agile techniques being thrown together, and there was no clear consensus about anything. So I think we've pretty much over that now. So
yeah, and the only point I really wanted to make was that we want to try to get past this hump by not putting too much refactoring of the functionality. Just let's get the test straight, get it into a working order. If we have to test manually, I'd suggest we do some of that and have put in, to-dos for necessary tests that you might be thinking of now, Raphael.
Got you. Yeah, I'm just trying to get the original.
That's just my little goal here is how to get it.
The parts that I've modified, where I can, I've added unit tests for or integration tests to test those functions. All that's really needing to happen now is to how do we solve this problem of making all these old tests work in an asynchronous way. So I think we could probably do that within less than a day if we had, somebody who understood my goal a little bit. If I could pair up with somebody, we could probably knock it out in an afternoon or two. So by the end of the week, I don't think there's a reason why we can't have the software, like this new restructured version of the software, up and running. Or at least ready for staging. So
okay.
Yeah, well, I guess what I would say is that I'm generally nervous of big refactorings. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't happen. I think Michael often frustrated with me wanting to make small changes and get them out, and is often frustrated that that's like, oh, as a result, we can't tackle big refactorings. From my point of view,
I don't think
the key thing for Agile is that we drive from what the high-level user needs are, and sometimes a big refactoring is absolutely appropriate to help meet those user goals in the long term. So I guess my fear, if I may share it, from having been coding for 30 years and particularly having been worked with Agile Ventures for 5 years or so, is that very often things are made more complicated than they need to be made. People take on, I'll do this and this and this and this and this, and then 6 months later we've got a big complex thing, that person's not around, and I'm often the one who ends up running maintenance on those projects. So I guess whenever we're thinking about adding more stuff in, my general suggestion will be take the simple route, do the smallest amount of thing that we can, in order to make progress. But so at the moment, I guess, maybe we can go to the board. If I just share my screen.
Hi.
Hey, is that Mernax?
Hi, do you guys hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, how are you doing?
Oh, finally.
Yeah, welcome.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
So just from my perspective, Sam,
Go on, Raphael.
this isn't such a massive refactoring. This is kind of, I think, part of the code review that needed to happen. And most of it's just making those original tests work now. So
Okay.
I think we've agreed on it now that we're going to try to get into a work.
Yeah, and so that's this main. I mean, if we look at the things that are in progress, we've got, you know, this is this series of refactorings that you were thinking of, Raphael, and you've got a series of, you know, sort of spikes to try them out. Yeah. And I guess you're hoping to get to a process later in the week where you can put in a pull request that will be, you know, those things. I guess I imagine the pull request when it comes will be quite large. It will achieve multiple code refactorings in one go, or it will be.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing a series of code refactoring. So I've tried to initially I tried to work from just keeping the original tests working. Then I hit a point where I could no longer honor those original tests. Right. So I relied on unit tests and integration tests. But I think those original tests even need a review.
Sure.
The parts that I've refactored, I know that are working, but the system as a whole yet, I don't know working or not. In fact, I know there maybe one or two places where it's just going to fall over, but I don't see that as such a bad.
Yeah, because I guess what we would ideally be doing is we'd be working out like individual things for people to work on, either individually or in pairs. I mean, I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm not fantastically well this week, and I've got to go in 10 minutes, and I'm not sure what the best way forward is. I mean, I was also out last week. I guess what's the do people have, and what we also try and do in the kickoff meetings is we try and get votes taking place on things that people want to work on. So independently of the refactoring, which is being worked on, do people have any tickets that they want to work on and they want to get them voted on so they can start work on them?
I thought we were holding off on that a little bit until if we could all put a little bit of attention onto the refactoring, it'll get done, and then we can kind of move on with those things because then there's a clear framework for moving forward. And people can see from example how it should be. So,
but you're talking about by the end of the week possibly having it ready. So
okay,
too early.
I don't see. It's not. I mean, I'd like to work with somebody on finalizing this refactoring. I feel like I've been just pushing all of this myself. It'd be nice if people are keen to join. As I said, I'm happy to put in the work to bring people up to speed. That way they can see the system, they can know the system, they can then get an idea about what they'd like to work on next, because there's lots of still possibilities that way. We can discuss any questionable parts of the work that I've done if somebody doesn't agree. All of that will become clear if we can just kind of work together.
Can I just make one more statement?
Sure.
So you're not sure that after you're refactoring the system's going to work?
No, I am sure, but
I think that's the big problem because we can drop a lot of this.
What I mean by that, like there was the command reveal was all in lowercase previously. I changed it to be the first letter uppercase. I know that's going to cause a problem. Everything else should be working together. I've not been refactoring the code so much that it's unrecognizable. Like,
can I ask why you've changed the uppercase? Like what the change is? What's the rationale for that?
Sure. Let me just share my screen.
Because just as a general principle, refactoring shouldn't change the behavior of the app.
No, and for the most part it's not. But there's been a lot of parts that have just been coded in, and they don't even have tests. So, for example, I factored out this outbound messaging. It's not actually adding in any new functionality. but this value here was previously it was reveal, which won't cause a problem. I changed it to reveal like that. But where that is going to have a problem is then when it receives that value back, it's going to be a lowercase r rather than an uppercase r. And I refactored that just so it's like consistent, like plain text type value. And then in my outbound messaging tests here, I've kind of done, hold a second. I've done stuff like this. It's just easy to test because I can put it in a loop and I can check all of those values, like name text value. To be
that value is a button, right?
Same, correct.
So as long as you, like on the UI part where you click the button, as long as you're passing back the uppercase reveal, it should be okay.
Correct. So it's not a logic change, it's just a single character has changed. So I do need to now go back and fix that. If those tests were working, the test would show it up immediately. So
it seems like we've got the key block, Raphael, is basically you've done the refactoring, you've got some new tests. The old tests are now, there's like a fail. So maybe should we spend the last 5 minutes with you giving us like a little description of the I think you did sort of already, but let's, because I guess what we're looking for when we move forward is we need to unblock you and potentially other people will pair with you later in the week. So you just want to highlight you were describing it before that it's kind of that when you try and run it, it hangs because of this like second connection to the database, is what you're saying?
Correct. So either I need to say specify alternate port numbers, like have a range of port numbers,
right?
Have something that is controlling the number.
Can you share your screen and show that actually happening for us? Can we just see it?
Sure. So let's just go back to my code here.
And for reference, which branch is this in? So you've got a number of pull requests open, and so the latest version that you're working on is in what's the name of the branch that you're working against?
Sure. A git status will show me that I'm working on Duak experimental test review.
Okay, all right. So anybody who wants to replicate the issue can check out that branch and then try and so in order to replicate the problem, they would do npm test.
Correct. So npm tests, the tests at the moment, I think will all pass. Yeah. So you can see it's kind of nice. I've gone through and I've done outbound messaging. Next, I need to make sure Slack itself, the web service for Slack itself is completely tested. That's going to then reveal that problem with reveal, for example.
Yeah. Okay, but so that's all passing there, but that's because the old tests are commented out. Is that right?
Right. So I've got a separate directory here. Install app works just fine. Landing page works just fine. I get to voting and.
Okay, so specifically the problem is that
the multi-voting, and I try then to, run the tests again. It's gonna run fine.
Oh yeah.
As soon as I try to get that reference to the app, I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay. As soon as I get that reference to the app, it falls over here, and there'll be a port error. There we go.
This is my point, Sam. Now, would it be totally inappropriate to comment out all the tests that are causing problems and test it manually? And
look, the other thing I can do
push the code in the state that it's in, as long as it works.
I could.
Well, you could push the code to staging to do a test of it. That wouldn't be inappropriate. I guess it would be at least, so we've got some other people here, is to kind of write up this problem. And so I mean, Raphael is suggesting some solutions, which is like to have that app start up with a different port. So
I've got a simpler solution for the time being. Sorry to interrupt. That is, if I push I'm kind of pushing these files out, all those old integration tests, I'm pushing to separate files. If I remerge them back into a single file, those problems that I'm describing will disappear and we'll have the old tests back. So maybe that's what I should be doing now. And then we can have the, test with any new code put in, make sure it's well tested. And the old tests, we can spend a bit of time going over them and making sure that.
And I mean, that way other people can work off a common base and.
Yeah. So I mean,
so the problem occurs when we split them out into separate files, and it doesn't occur if we have them all in a single file.
Correct. So, but we can worry about that problem a little later. If we can start adding new tests in. If we need to refactor tests, we need to do a little structural change then at that time. It's not going to be such a big jump because most of the big jump has been done already.
Right. Copy.
It's good, Matt.
I like that idea, if that's okay with.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to go. Yeah, we would clearly want to. I mean, it's going to be a pain if they end up being, we can't support the different things. I guess the other suggestion that you had, Raphael, was like having it hit a different port number, which sounded like that might be quite a simple one as well.
Yeah, that's going to take a little refactoring, and again, that's I think I should just, for the time being, make sure those old tests work. Even if they're in a single file, then we can discuss the problem.
Yeah, let's do the following my own advice. Let's do the simple thing. Let's do the simple thing. Put them in a simple file, and then you could have a pull request by the end of the day. And then that also sounds like you wouldn't need, what you would then need is help reviewing the pull request. So you could flag the pull request. Hopefully the CI would pass, and we could all be looking at it.
I've got time, Raphael, if you want to just sit with me and show me things so I could properly review it.
Sure, and you're on in the afternoon, so why don't you and I meet tomorrow? Like I can do this. I can finish these changes either today or tomorrow morning. It's just getting late in the day here now. It's after 6 p.m. already, so I can finish these either this evening or tomorrow morning, and then we can chat tomorrow with you and whoever else is around. So I really want to be getting these new guys up to speed because I want to keep these new guys' attention span and excitement, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on people, and I want people to be able to move on. I just think it is important, though, to stop for the moment, just to...
Raphael, if I'm around tomorrow, I'll be happy to join you and Matt just to look at your code and...
Wonderful.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's great. And maybe Murnax as well. So it sounds like the way forward then is, session tomorrow for everyone to, see the new state of code, and then hopefully, people can start, make suggestions, everybody get on the same page, and then move on from there. Does that sound like the way forward then?
Hi.
Well, I wouldn't mind just pushing it to once I've made the changes, pushing it to a staging server. So maybe Sam, you and I can offline we could definitely let's push it to the staging server. Yeah. Just to interrupt you, Raphael, because Murnax was just asking a question. Go on, Murnax, what were you saying?
The problem is I just joined the AsyncVoter today, and I quite not sure how I start to join you guys. Yes. I have no idea how to start.
No problem. And it's, you kind of like, this is the Agile Ventures way. You've kind of, we drop you in at the deep end, but we're all here to help and help you get sorted out. So, I mean, the key thing that I would say that you want to do is to try and install this AsyncVoter Slack command repo locally. Have you managed to check that out to your
yes,
local?
ready.
Oh, so you've been able to do npm install and run the tests. Is that right?
Not yet install the repo. Just check inside the code and some README file.
Oh, okay.
Some description. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the key thing to do is to get set up with some of the code running locally. I've got to go now, but actually, this AV AsyncVoter meeting will continue to be available. Raphael, you and I, we can work together on staging. That's no problem. I've got to go, but the party can carry on, guys.
Oh, okay.
If anyone can stay around and help Murnax get set up with the software and help that it's all running locally. Paolo, have you got the software running locally for you now?
No, in fact, I haven't. I don't. So
yeah, maybe that's
kind of planning on pairing up with either Matt or Raphael or both, maybe tomorrow. But I don't want to waste anybody's time. But I do need a little help to get started.
Yeah. But I think if maybe Raphael's going to go offline, but I don't know if Matt, Matt or Raphael, are you free to help Paolo and or Murnax now just to get set up?
I think I need to go meet my boyfriend somewhere.
No worries.
I do have to go, but I think the main thing to have installed at the moment is obviously the Node environment, npm, Node, as Git, as well as Mongo. Previously, Redis, and I still think you do need Redis, but you should need Mongo now because we do want a true persistent store.
Okay, that thing already installed in my notebook.
Yeah. Okay, Matt, can you stay? We should let Raphael go. Raphael, if you got to go, you go. It's all good. We'll catch up with you tomorrow. Matt, do you have a moment to help?
I haven't been too much of a pain.
Bye, Raphael.
Okay.
Matt, did you have 5 minutes to spend with Murnax to just get him? Yeah.
Oh, I want to say that I already have a Node and Mongo and npm already installed in my notebook in my Mac.
Okay. Well, what you could do, Murnax, is if you just share your screen, maybe Matt can help you do like npm install and then run npm tests and get you on the right branch. I've got to go myself now. Good to see everybody. Good luck.
Bye, Sam.
Ciao, Paolo.
Okay.
Take care, guys.
Okay. I think I can look around and on the repo and try to install those myself, and I can come back to join you later to see.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm here a lot, so I'll definitely help you whenever you need it.
Oh, okay. You see available.
Quick question: are you on Windows or a Mac?
I'm on a Mac.
Oh, good. Okay, because it's a little bit easier. Sorry.
Okay. So what I was wondering is what I should do in this project, and what can I do to help you guys? And
I think you came in at a weird time because this big refactoring of the tests.
Yes.
But if you'll be patient until next week, we'll have some actual issues. You can take a well-defined small issue.
I mean, you could go to the meeting tomorrow, and
yeah, if you're around tomorrow morning.
What's going on there?
And I guess
what time would it be?
The same time as now. I'm not sure what he meant by the morning. I think he actually meant earlier than now.
I think it's earlier.
Yeah, like 3 or 4 hours earlier than now.
Yeah.
Is it already midnight in my country at this time?
Oh no! So it'd be
earlier, like
or something,
like 3-4 hours ago.
Right.
Like 8 p.m. your time.
Okay. So that would be tomorrow, like 2 p.m. for Rome time or Hungary, kind of.
Yeah. So let's log in around that time or a little bit before that.
Yes, and I'll look at the chat channel, and you guys post the time there.
Yeah. We'll all get together and try to get everybody straight.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, hopefully.
Okay, great. So
bye, everyone.
Bye. probably.
Yeah, but
Okay, I gotta go too. I'm going to look around the repo and I will come back.
Yeah,
I hope I can join you tomorrow.
Don't worry, by next week we'll be all sorted out a little better.
Okay, I hope I can familiar with the workflow.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, see you guys.
See.
Good to see you.
Okay, good to see you. Yeah.